it needs a new half vinyl roof on it, and I'm going to do that myself. And I'm actually going to go back with white so it sets it off. Here is the final product. This is a tinted bed liner where there used to be a vinyl roof, and I dare anybody to tell me that that's not a vinyl roof unless you actually touch it. The trim, this used to have a red roof on it, so this trim had to be done in bed liner also. These pieces had to be done in bed liner because they were red previously, and I actually used two small rivets to do a refasten on those. Simply because I didn't have the clips. There's the plastic clips back there. Up the front, there is that metal spring-loaded clip, but I was able to reinsert it without removing it. This is done without removing this center piece. It does leave this inside, which is the original vinyl roof, but you know, I see no problems with it. Something I did not do. This is a seam, a factory forged seam, and I should have filled it like I did the back, but for what it is. Access the spring-loaded clips that are underneath it. You can't get in underneath any of this, and I did try to release the springs so that the teeth or whatever you want to call them underneath will allow a rotation so that I can get it off. So that means pulling the headliner, and I'm not sure at this point whether I'm going to put this back on or not, because what you'll see here is this will all be white in here anyway. I'm not sure yet. I need to get it all off, but I can estimate for you that a job like this is going to be around 40 hours of labor. So if you don't have that much time, then don't even start on it. The rear window does not need to come out, but you do need to pull the trim. The chrome trim, well, it's not even chrome on these. It's a colored trim similar to, well, here, there's a piece right there. That you don't have to pull the bottom piece. And these windows do not have rubber seal in them. They are a liquid sealed glass. You can, if you want, remove these because the headliner or the vinyl roof does come up behind them, or you can just, if you don't want to remove them, just take a blade and cut close to them. Once you get them off, you're probably going to have to replace them anyway. I keep these in stock, so that part of it is not a big deal. Additionally, an enormous amount of scraping. This stuff does not come off easy. What I've done up here, you see this wet area, is pour some thinner in on top of it. And that does help loosen the glue up. The pieces that go around the window here is pretty self-explanatory. Screws holding it in, but for that center piece you have to come in here and remove this plastic panel. I'll show you that one right there. You don't have to remove the seat belt or anything, but you've got one here, you've got another one up here, and then I believe the next one is right at the curve. So that means pulling this headliner. And on these older cars, see how the glue starts to come loose? Once I start playing with that, I suspect I'm going to have to either re-glue the entire thing or replace it before I'm done. So anyway, if you keep all those things in mind. One last thing here is that this trim piece is push pins, but they break and leave the stud inside when you're trying to get it off. And the front one does have a spring clip on it, which is the style that's on that wide piece that goes completely over the roof. So you can see you can't get underneath there to release that, so that the piece will turn enough to get it off. I am going to try and cut in here and get, see if that gives me any room to get under before I pull the headliner, but I'm not seeing any other way to do it. And if you're going to not put this back on, you have to pull it anyway to get the clips out and then fill the holes. So the one last thing here is that the Crown Vic sign, let me see, here it is right here. You can see I broke that one. The Crown Vic, it's not a sign, it's a emblem. The Crown Vic's emblem is also a push pin style, but again, they do not want to come out and I played and pried and messed with this thing for 10 minutes, wiggling it back and forth, trying to get it out. They do not want to come out, so you can probably plan on breaking them. Whether you put it back in again when you're done,
this piece right here
is going to be your call. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. It has plastic clips. Let me move my hand. That just break off when you try and get them out of there. We'll see if that's a replaceable part. The end here, I'm not sure what that was about, but here's the thing on these. On the front, where that spring clip's at, if you get all of the balance of this off, you can start pull this out a little bit and just keep wiggling, and pulling until it comes out of that.
See these cracks?
Groove right there.
I poured lacquer thinner on here about 20 minutes ago, or maybe longer. And I'm not sure. I suppose if you wanted to sell your car or whatever, you know, you could do that and see how long it lasts. I have no idea, but I'm so far out now on this roof, so this is exactly how I need to do it. I have decided to leave this strip on, cut real close to it with a razor knife, bring this down here, pull this little piece of trim out a little bit, and I'm going to shoot my bed liner from here back. And I will also, because I'm going to go back with white, seems to be helpful.
I'm going to pull this trim here, and all the trim that goes around the window will be done in white.
See how it leaves all that foam or whatever the heck is on the back of this stuff. It leaves it on there, but if you use lacquer thinner, and my hands have arthritis so bad, I also found it helpful to use a screwdriver, or pardon me, a pair of pliers. And you need to wait about 5 minutes to give that some time to work. Once you get the roof peeled black, you can come in here with a wide putty scraper and get a lot of the glue off. It is a sticky mess, and it smells horrible. That stuff right there will stick to everything, so be careful, especially your hands. I don't know how long it actually took me to get all of the glue off of this, but what I found works best is brake cleaner, scrape and scrape and scrape, wet your with brake cleaner again, scrape some more, use a fairly sharp scraper. You have to scrape the glue off once you get it wet, and then actually pull the glue from the scraper with paper towels, because if you grab it by hand, it just sticks right to you. And once you get all the glue off, then you can go ahead and sand with, I can tell you there's probably just a little bit more glue there. Sand with 40 grit paper, but it does no good to sand with 40 grit paper when there's still glue on it, because it will not remove it. Go ahead and make sure that you get all of the paint from the body putty that Ford put in underneath there, because you will have to do some more body work on these. I used a wire brush on a wheel, a round wire brush on a battery operated screw gun to get this area in here as clean as possible. Additionally, I used the same thing in this area. This is all covered by chrome, so it's not a huge thing, but this part right here, that will show. This piece has to be come off and painted the same color as the roof, in which case this one is going to be white. This car, I felt this car just had too much red on it, so a white roof would set it off. Again, make sure you get all of the paint out of here because it gets glue stuck to it. And when you do the bed liner, be sure and paint these and this trim that goes all the way around in the same color. These are the clips on the rear window, lower portion, and they just don't pry them off. You push them a certain direction and they'll pop off. Finally got all the glue off. I don't really know how long that took me because I would work on it a couple hours here, an hour there, but you know, I suspect if you just worked on it solid, you can plan on perhaps 15 hours of removing glue, and then, you know, maybe another couple for body work. This down here was done because I broke my emblems that say Crown Vic, LTD Crown Vic. I'm not sure that I'm going to put them back on, and during the process of trying to get them off, I dented things a little bit, so I just went ahead and took care of it. This is where Ford joins a roof joint with a side joint. They had their own Bondo in there, however, it was not done sufficient enough for what I'm going to do. I am in the process of taping off now. Taped off in order to get it ready for priming today. Primer is on, and I can tell you, if you are going to paint, then you must remove every single bit of paint that was underneath that glue. In my particular case, I'm going to bed liner, so it should be okay. The trim pieces will be bed lined also, and make sure they are very, very clean. They are very light and will have a tendency to blow around while you're trying to paint them.